Peace, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah, Kohaloyim La, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Hakodash, and double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth, and just want to say the water toward the H.I.M and H.I.M that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan Nawah. It's coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And this is an article on a guy that appears to be an Edomite. We don't do the skin color thing, you know what I'm saying? Because the skin color thing is a social construct by Esau Edom, the so-called white man. And we call them so-called white because they're actually pinkish to reddish in color, like this man right here. And, you know, just reading into the spirit, you know, it just sounds like some Edomite shit. Sounds like, you know, just some Edomite shit. So let's get some of the article. It says, Heartbroken man says he lost his life savings of nearly $700,000 after he fell in love with a stranger through text messages. Yeah, that's some Edomite shit. Because once I'm reading through the article and seeing what he was doing, you know, and, you know, how much he put into it, it was just like, that ain't no shit that no niggas doing. Not no niggas in their right mind. You know, but it says a 67-year-old Florida man says he is starting his life over after losing nearly $700,000 in what authorities believe was a long-running romance and investment scam that began with a simple text message from a stranger. And you got to watch that too. You know, a lot of elderly, you know, are really being scammed these days. I try to, you know, talk to my uncles and them, you know, one of my uncles especially, about, you know, answering certain phone calls and, you know, just calling fucking numbers off TV and, just leave all that shit alone, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not what it used to be. Life is not what it used to be. People have always been dishonest, but you're living in an age where motherfuckers are scamming daily. They got warehouses of people sitting on you know, with telephones set up, calling thousands and thousands and thousands of motherfuckers per day, scamming. So you got to be careful about stuff like this, you know. Even when you get a quick text message and shit. I get a text message from matter of fact, I got a text message from somebody maybe about a week or so ago talking about, do you want to go fishing? And I knew it wasn't my dad, you know what I'm saying? Because my dad is about the only one, you know, around me that goes fishing pretty regularly. It wasn't his number. And I'm like, fuck, you know, and I don't get calls like that or text. But, you know, matter of fact, I got a text. Or was it a phone call? No, it was an actual text. No, it was that particular text. It was that particular text. I was surprised that the phone said that this was potential spam or Salakia, a potential scam. And it gave me the option to block it. And that's what made me block, you know, go ahead, because I was going to block it any fucking way. Because I didn't know who it was. But I was surprised that the phone actually said that. So some of these new phones and new services, you know, depends on what carrier you're with, it'll let you know off the jump, you know, that's a potential scam. Damn sure did. I was like, maybe about, it ain't been a full week, maybe about 4 days or so ago. Anyway, let's get back to this guy. You know, he's boo-hooing, looking crazy as hell, doofy as hell. But people, a lot of and it's been mainly these Edomites, because see, they're the ones with this kind of money. That's the reason why it's really them that's getting caught up in a lot of these scams. You know, when Jake get this kind of money, Jake not falling for no shit like that. Unless they just going damn senile. You know? Jake be on... old ass Jake, 67. Ain't no motherfucking way you scamming old ass man out of 700,000 unless he just fucking senile. He's losing it. If he got his wits about him, nah, you ain't nah. Who? But let's get into some of it. Because this is how, you know, this could be, you know, beneficial to some of us, but I'm looking at it like, when I seen this article and I started reading it, I'm like, this is the way Esau is going to fall. Like, you know, you sitting on everything, you sitting on top of the world, you know, so to speak, and then all of a sudden, calamity strikes and hits your ass. And we've seen that with, you know, the guys, you know, them old Sakari members and shit. We ain't seen no more of them. When they women came along and gunned their ass down, basically. You know, so when it comes to a fall, I mean, when you think about it, the fall of the women, I mean, of the world is from the women. When you go into Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, you go into Eve, that was the fall, man. So we had to be very careful when it comes to these women, man. You know? But anyway, it says, anchor Calvin Hughes reported that this guy's name is Carl Gessler, who had built a life in Jupiter after decades of work and retirement, believed he had formed a genuine relationship with a woman he knew as Eileen, only to watch the connection disappear after he had sold major assets and poured hundreds of thousands of dollars into what he thought was a legitimate investment. Stupid, bro. Because see, Esau could never have enough. You think, okay, you lost, let's just say you lost $5,000, $10,000. Let's say 20. Let's say 100,000. You lost $700,000. You kept doing it. You would have thought like, all right, well, because that's what investments are about. You don't just throw everything into the shit. You throw a few dollars and you see how it works. But actually, that's pretty much how she kind of got him too with the scam. But I'm saying he still shouldn't have put away. He still shouldn't have put up that much money. He should have been still leery about, this situation because he never even met the bitch. Let's get it. It says, he told the station that friends have tried to convince him he was being scammed. See? You got friends around you, that's not trying to hurt you. That's where good counsel comes in. That's where having a good friend comes in. And that's where coming into actually listening to your friends, man. Actually listening to real people around you that are for your better good. And that's what this truth is about, man. The brethren that's not going to tell you no lie. They're going to tell you straight up, hey, look, bro, you fucking up, bro. No, don't do that, bro. That's where good counsel comes in at. You asking the brethren like, yo, what you think about that, man? I got this situation going on, whatever. And a brother run it down on you, Spirit might hit him where, because you can't be getting emotional in your fucking feelings, man. You gotta throw them feelings out the window. Okay, but it says, he told the station his friends have tried to convince him it was a scam, but emotionally, see, there you go with the feelings, he is still struggling to accept that the person he trusted may never have been who he claimed to be. You ain't never even met the bitch. According to Hughes' report, Gessler had lived in Jupiter for years and had built a close circle of friends, including people he regularly spent time with on the weekends, while also having owned his own business. What he felt was missing, however, was a romantic relationship. Yeah, because you ain't got a lot of Edomites don't have no game, especially the ones that do have some money. They ain't got no game. And the ones that do have some game, but you can, like, they pretty much like Trump ass, when it comes to, I ain't saying he got womanly game. He got most of his women from having money. But, just that old slickster. Motherfucker, just a slick talker, man. That's Esau. It says, that changed when he received a text from a stranger who appeared to be looking for someone named Judy. And rather than ignoring the message, that's how they get you, he responded. The woman later identified herself as Eileen and told him she had been born in Singapore. That should have threw red flags right there. And lived in Los Angeles. What began as a casual conversation gradually became much more personal, with the two exchanging thousands of messages and sharing details about their lives. Yeah, he done told her all about his hookup. She's just setting his ass up. And that's the way I'm telling you now, man. This is the way Esau is being set up right now. He's being fattened for the sacrifice, man. He's a great sacrifice, especially you Americans, you Babylonians, you damn Egyptians. You're going to fall suddenly, just like this man did. All of a sudden, everything was just fine. Shit was all good just a week ago. Then all of a sudden, calamity gonna hit your ass, man. It says she would talk about herself a little bit, and I talked about myself. We kind of got a little relationship going. The progression was slow enough that Gessler said he came to believe the relationship was real, which is a key part of why the later investment pitch did not immediately feel like a scam. I'm talking about, but damn, nigga, up to 700,000? Damn, nigga. Okay, Hughes reported that Eileen eventually asked Gessler whether he wanted to make more money and introduced him to what she described as an investment opportunities connected to a wealthy aunt. See, there you go. Who supposedly worked with analysts in the gold market. Gessler started small, reportedly investing $500, and said early returns made the opportunity appear legitimate. Come on, bro. $500. Okay, I caught an L. But you know, you don't even know the lady, man. You know. But that's again, you know, these people, and I'm willing to bet you it's probably some damn Edomite on the other end. Probably wasn't no lady at all. Probably some damn dude. You know, because they understand their elderly uncles and aunties and mothers and fathers. You know what I'm saying? And they've been scamming them all their damn life. Because you know a lot of these Edomites don't work like that anyway. Especially when they have families with money. You know, they know how to get into the minds of their stupid ass parents that never gave them discipline to begin with, so they're able to just fuck off, man. But anyway, it says that sentence captures. Let me see. He says, okay, so he invested the 500, so he supposedly made a little money. From there, he began putting more money into the supposed investment because he trusted both the woman and what he believed he was seeing. I ended up putting more money into this investment because I believed from my heart that it was real. That sentence captures why these scams can be so effective. The financial pitch usually, see, because Esau, I'm telling you, this might be some Edomite shit, you know, as far as like, because Esau, he'll set the trap and he'll wait. Esau is patient when it comes to a trap. He's impatient when it comes to other shit, though, you know. And even with a trap, sometimes, you know, he'll feel like, okay, well, damn, I set that trap a long time ago. You know, shit, I should be done caught something by now. He'll get a little impatient, but he's a cunning hunter, he'll set that trap for your ass, and he'll wait. Look at some of these hunting channels, and you'll see Esau, that motherfucker, sit there a couple of weeks, man, waiting on that perfect kill. He'll be either take a piss on himself, he'll take a dump on himself, he'll never even move from his location. You know, he'll sit out in the winter. So this is why this, you know, it's kind of sounding like he might have got scammed by some of his own people. It says, the financial pitch usually does not arrive from a cold stranger asking for money immediately. It comes after a relationship has been carefully built, sometimes over weeks or months, until the victim feels that the person on the other end has earned their trust. In Gessler's case, that trust became strong enough that he made decisions involving nearly everything he owned. I don't get all that. That nigga, you stupid. It says he sold his house, car, and business. Local 10 reported that Gessler eventually sold a house he had inherited from his parents. Why would you this right here sounds exactly like Esau that sold his birthright. I was going into that yesterday. When he sold his birthright for that food. When you go into the history of Esau and Jacob and Genesis chapter 25, Esau sold his birthright. That was the most important thing that you could have back then in the ancient days, for a fucking bowl of damn chili is what the elder Yashwama would always say. But he sold his birthright for some food that wasn't ready. He couldn't wait. He was, see, like I said, he's impatient when it comes to certain stuff. But when it comes to him setting a trap for you, oh, he'll set a trap and wait forever for that shit. Oh, I finally got him. Hey, matter of fact, that's what the scriptures talks about when it came to Jacob and these other nations, roughly paraphrasing. When they finally got us, they was like, aha, we got his ass, basically, roughly paraphrasing. Because they'll set them traps, man, and be ready to, and then they'll spring that shit on you right at the right time. He's patient when it comes to that. But when it comes to just certain shit, he's a damn kid, man. The scripture talked about how the Lord will give a kingdom to a base people. These are really silly people. Look at how they're treating the earth right now. You know? Okay, but it says, he sold his house that he inherited from his parents, along with his car and business. Damn, you said, why would you sell the business? That's how you making your money. Why would you sell your parents' house? Why would you sell your fucking car, nigga? You got to get around. It says, while continuing to put money into the investment. You ain't got no pussy. You ain't met the bitch. You ain't got a kiss. It says the amount he says he lost eventually reached about $700,000. He even traveled in hopes of meeting the woman he believed he had been talking to, but the meeting never happened. Oh my goodness, boy! This is some serious Edomite shit right here. And you can look at him and tell he's a goofy. Look at this nigga. Look at him. 67 years old, no damn game. And don't say nothing about him having no kids and no wife. Or maybe, I don't know, I didn't read, or maybe you didn't read far enough in it. I just kind of stopped after seeing how stupid he fucking was. It says the communication got cut off, describing the moment when the relationship and supposed investment opportunity effectively vanished at the same time. And he's like, got you, bitch. Them niggas cleaned your ass out and kept moving. A 67-year-old Gessler told the station he was looking for a job. Now you looking for a job. You had a business. Looking for a job at 67. You had a business that was making money. You retired. But you know what? Let me get this scripture real quick. And I ain't even mean to keep it this long. I know I was kind of roughly paraphrasing scriptures. But this is Job 20 and 5. Let me start at verse 4. It says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? I'm willing to bet you he voted for Trump too. He probably a mega. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? I'm surprised this dude ain't off himself, because that's generally what these Edomites do too. And no doubt that might be the next story that you might hear, that he just couldn't take it, man. He couldn't bring himself to 67, and you trying to start over? There's motherfuckers right now in their fucking 20s, their 30s, man. That can't fucking make it right now, man. With decent jobs. You sold your mama in them house. Now this motherfucker sleeping on the couch with one of his buddies, man. Crazy work. It says, verse 7 again. Let me get verse 6 again. It says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. His bones are full of sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth, yet his meat in his bowels is turned. It is the gall of asp within him. Well, basically, in a nutshell, this is how Esau is gonna fall, man. He's been on a high and mighty horse for a long time. He's been sweetened up. He's been buttered up. He's been smoothly. Basically, he's been the Lord has done the same thing to them as a people. They've been buttered up. The Lord done buttered him up, got him thinking that everything is all good. His name is gonna go on forever. His kingdom is gonna go on forever. No one's ever gonna bring him down. What's that Isaiah? That's just what it reminded me of when I first started reading the article. Like Esau doing bad, man. Isaiah 47:1, it says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. See that? You're not going to be able to be called tender and delicate anymore, man. Take the millstone and grind the mill. Uncover thy locks. Make bare the leg, uncover the thigh. Pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. As for our Redeemer, the Lord Yahweh of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. And that's what's going to happen to Esau, man. The Lord is going to come and take vengeance on this man. Right when he think everything is all good, right when he thought it was sweet, he's going to try and chip the Israelites, microchip him and shit. But when he get to going on all that bullshit, the Lord going to snatch the motherfucking rug from under his feet, and that nigga going to fumble back and crack his goddamn head. And it's going to be all captivity from there. See, he's in the limelight of his life right now. This guy is the perfect example of a fall, man. Let me get this one in the Apocrypha. I always get this one. I love seeing these types of stories, man. They really they brighten my day, man. It's 4:41 to call Loyum La Yahweh Bashim outside. My Shimmer Kakodash. Ecclesiasticus 25:7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. And that's what we're witnessing, man, the fall of our enemies. Because he'd have been better off. Damn, where does damn story go? He'd have been better off. Let me see if I can find it again. He'd have been better off just getting one of them little fucking, just becoming a sugar daddy to one of them stupid bitches, man, in the hood or something, around him somewhere. He could have easily had gotten one of them like, damn, nigga, you don't know nobody. I had a friend like that too one time. That was years back, man, and he was dealing with a bitch. Supposedly she lived in I don't know, fucking South Korea, some shit. But that was back when online, when you was kind of like, it cost money though back then to be talking back and forth with people. Wasn't no FaceTime and shit, and all that old, you could just dial somebody up and you get international calls and shit like that for free. And it wasn't like how it is now, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was spending all kinds of money, sending this bitch money. I'm like, man, you don't even know this bitch. Yeah, she coming to the U.S. to be with me. I'm like, all right, nigga, please. Anyway. And we don't feel sorry for this nigga. Look at him. This Esau right here in a nutshell, man, with his fucking, look at him. Jupiter, Florida. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Your boys, your friends try to tell you. Looking goofy as hell. Let's see what else they got in here. We'll end out. I got to get this part back again. At 67 years old, he told the station he was looking for a job, a place to live, and another vehicle, essentially rebuilding from the beginning after years of work and savings. Golly. Boy, I tell you. Maybe he is on he probably do got a little dementia setting in. It says, Hughes said Gessler is now staying in a hotel and getting around on a bicycle. Man, you can't make this up, man. This right here, man. Hey, but this, I'm telling you, when I seen this, it just came to me, in the spirit, like this is gonna be Esau in the future. All the wealth and riches that he has gathered in the planet, man. He's been running the earth. This motherfucker got, he got international space centers and shit. He got rockets and shit. Nuclear might. He's all prideful. Sitting there in his blue suit with his, his white shirt, either red or blue tie. He's all, just prideful as fuck. And this nigga gonna go from, a nigga like Trump is gonna go from, and just, Trump is just a front dog for, the elite. But the elite, I'm just using Trump because we know this proud motherfucker. We see him daily. But a motherfucker like that right there, he gonna go from that big ass plane, that big ass Air Force One jet to a fucking in chains in a goddamn field with no shoes on, with some Incredible Hulk shorts on. You remember how the Incredible Hulk would always bust out every goddamn thing except for the pants? You would always wonder, like, well, nigga, how you still got on them tight ass shorts, nigga? But that's gonna be Esau getting his goddamn back whipped in, man. You gonna fall, man. You gonna fall. This is the perfect example of a beautiful fall, man. Okay, it says, friends say it was a scam, but he still struggles to believe it. And he still, and that's that mindset that the Lord got Esau in right now. He's in that mindset of, no, we're winning. We're gonna win. Fuck what these prophets of doom's got to say. Yeah, we see the scriptures coming through. We see that, everything that they're saying is coming to pass, but no, we're gonna win. But the Lord got them in that mindset. It says, Hughes said Gessler's friends have been direct with him, telling him that he was the victim of a scam. Gessler appears to understand that possibility intellectually, but accepting it emotionally has been much harder. Yeah, because you in love with nobody. You out here in love with thin air. Probably some some fucking rainbow guy was on the other end of that bitch, man, typing to your doofy ass. He says, through tears, he told this station that part of him still does not want to believe the relationship was entirely fabricated. He not worried about everything he lost. He worried about this bitch, supposedly, that he done met and never even met the bitch. This is what he's worried about. It says that emotional conflict is one of the cruelest aspects of romance-based investment fraud. Yep. The financial damage can often be calculated precisely, but the emotional loss is harder to measure because victims are also forced to reconsider months of conversations, personal disclosures, and promises that they thought came from someone who cared about them. Yeah, this is Esau in a nutshell right here, man. His fall from glory. The realization means questioning whether thousands of messages and what he believed was a meaningful connection were simply tools used to convince him to send more money. Man, that's probably a group of Edomites sitting around like, yeah. Or it could have been some dude, got his bitch. Yeah, you text, you working. You texting this, you say that. Now you say, no, don't do that. Don't say that there right now. That's too soon. Setting all this shit up. Got his ass all just doofy, bro. Authorities describe the scheme as pig butchering. All right, well, Esau, the biggest scammer in the world has been you with sweet white baby Jesus, that goddamn idol you've been running throughout the earth with, man. First off, you Edomites, man, when you fall like this, nobody cares. Nobody cares, man. Not even your own people in a lot of cases. They don't care. It says this type of scam, Gessler described, is commonly referred by the federal authorities as pig butchering, a term used for long-term confidence schemes in which scammers build trust before gradually convincing victims to make increasingly large investments. According to the warning cited in connection with the report, scammers often begin through random text messages, dating apps, and social media before moving conversations to other messaging platforms. Yeah, man. They then work to establish a personal relationship, sometimes presenting themselves as romantic partners, friends, or successful investors before introducing a supposedly high return financial opportunity. I remember this one time too. It is this chick, and that was some, that there was a lot of people didn't really know about it. That was kind of like a lot of shit that would be going through, like I think WhatsApp or something like at the time. And you'll get these random, just out of the blue messages. And I can remember this supposedly was a chick. And she was trying to scam me. And I knew off the jump what it was, so I kind of played along with it. And she was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Go and, what was it? They try to get you to, to first off get these gift cards. And can you get a gift card from such and such? And, you basically, all they need is those numbers that you scratch. You scratch the number, whatever. And basically that's how you get access to whatever the amount or whatever. So, goofy bitch just threw a damn beer can out of the window. Just niggas just don't care. So like yeah. Anyway, so I had some I don't even know where I got them shits from because I never even bought any before, but I ended up grabbing I don't even know where I got them. I might have got them bitches. I don't know where I got them bitches from, but they was like some shit that was already used, and I sent the picture and shit, and I was laughing my ass off, you know what I'm saying, because I already knew, you know what I'm saying, like this motherfucker gonna be pissed and shit when they see that these motherfuckers ain't no goddamn good, you know what I'm saying, and then they ended up texting me back all pissed, you know what I'm saying, I was fucking with them the whole time because I already knew what it was, like bitch. I'm a scam the scammer. You know what I'm saying? But I always been skeptical of shit like that, man. Phone calls. I even get skeptical of mail coming to my house, man. Because I rarely get mail. It's like when I see some shit and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Like straight up, man. I don't want nothing to do with no phone calls. I don't get no texts like that. I don't get no calls. I don't get no, so when I see shit, it's like my antennas just go right up, man. Because people, a lot of shit going on. And then just being in this truth, we know that, you know what I'm saying, we're being watched and, and all this other stuff to a certain extent, whatever, but, we still try and use wisdom. So we, our radar's got to be on point, as far as just looking at, and praying, first off, praying without ceasing, like how the scripture says, because the scripture says to walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the times because the days are evil. See, a person like this right here, if you were to meet somebody like this and you like, well, what's up, Lord? You know what I'm saying? It's nothing to throw a quick prayer. This dude ain't had nobody. He just went along with the bullshit. He ain't got, but Lord, what's going on? What do you think about this person? You think this, what's this? You know, the Lord got his ass set up to the point where he actually think that this shit is still some real shit. And that's how the Lord can do you too. That's the reason why, man, you know, you don't want to play with the Lord, man. We pray to the Lord that he would not take away his Holy Spirit from us, you know, and have us out here all bugged out, man. Right? And we don't feel sorry for this nigga. Look at him. You living in a hotel, riding a goddamn bike everywhere you got to go after being scammed out all your shit. You deserve it. You Edomites, all y'all gonna get this business. Yep. So he filed a police report after realizing the money he believed he had invested might be gone. It remains unclear whether any of the nearly $700,000 was recovered. See, it's a scam built around loneliness and trust. And that happens to a lot of people these days. Because people are lonely as hell, especially women. This generally happens to a lot of women, but it's been happening to men too, you know, especially around that age, man. But it says at 67, he's looking for work, housing, and transportation while police examine his complaint. And he says he is sharing the experience and hopes that someone else will recognize the warning signs. Yeah, right, nigga. You deserve everything that you got. And we don't feel sorry for you Edomites. You know, and this is you Edomites in a nutshell. This is the new world for you so-called white people. You're going to go from everything to nothing. Rags to riches, man. Let me read one or two of these comments. Let's see these people in here cutting his ass up. It says, a fool and his money will soon be departed. Hey, that's a scripture, ain't it? There's scriptures on that there. Yep. It says deported. Somebody says, I came here to say that. Yeah, that H.I.M shit too. I have had them call me saying they are H.I.M. And they call from H.I.M number on back of H.I.M cards. I caught one woman at the ATM inside a gas station. Yeah, y'all know all that. Fuck that. Poor man. He was lonely and took a risk, a very costly one. People are trash, preying upon seniors in vulnerable times in their lives. I sincerely hope his life goes well. Nope. I don't feel sorry for this motherfucker, man. Fuck him. Somebody says he should have listened to Michael Jackson and just beat it. Esau probably not even getting it up, man. He probably just wants somebody to talk to. You know, 67, Esau ain't dealing, man. You fuck out of here. Yeah, nobody really feeling it for him like that. Somebody says, I never answer the phone if they don't appear as one of my contacts. If it's important, they can leave a message. Yep. Same thing I say. Hell no. Well, hey, that's it, man. Let me see what that scripture. Yeah, man, that's a beautiful thing. I mean, we don't feel sorry for Esau. He could have, in his past life, he could have been one of the, at 67, shit, that motherfucker, man, ain't no telling what he done to Jakes, man, throughout his life. Especially his father or his grandfather. Or he could be back as you know, his great-great-grandfather and getting some shit that he done back when he was a damn slave owner or something. We don't feel sorry for his ass. There's plenty of scriptures on money. Let's see, Proverbs or hmm. Well, yeah, a lot of scriptures, couple of bangers on money. Ecclesiastes 7:12, for wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense, but the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it, Yep. So this guy ain't had no wisdom, man. Ecclesiastes 12:10, it says, a feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things. And somebody was on his ass, man. So you can clearly see money do answereth all things, because guess what? His ass got to look for a job, because he need what? Money to continue on living. His ass is living at a hotel, riding a bicycle, and had all that. And matter of fact, I forgot about this one too. I end with this one, Salakia. That's that 1 Samuel 2. Stand niggas, man. I fucking hate niggas, man. Shit this stupid ass nigga doing don't make no sense. On a damn side street speed. 1 Samuel 2:6. Let me start there. But the point is in 7. The Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. The Lord maketh poor. See? And maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. So everything that he done, the Lord brought him, got him up to that little pedestal that he was on. His parents passed away. And a lot of that money probably came from, his parents, insurance policy or some shit. But either way, at 67, depends on where you live and how you're living. He had a house that was clearly paid off. He had a vehicle that was probably more, unless he had something that he was making a payment on. But still, that shouldn't have mattered like that. But, if he was living in a house that, and he was just paying the taxes on it like he's supposed to or whatever, he could have really just had that money sitting in something really more safe and secure, like some shit at the bank. Damn savings would have got him some interest and shit like that, man, where he could have, but here you go, trying to be greedy. At 67, you ain't got enough, nigga. You should have just, you've been better off expanding your business or something. Or just something to do to go along with what you doing already. You sending shit to a motherfucker you've never met. Anyway, I applaud this though. I just wanted to do this, man, because it makes me feel all happy and fuzzy on the insides to see Esau fall like that, man. So with that, I pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwame Yashala and a Bible ball.